Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Amendment Bill 2018. I am very much thankful to my party leader, Srimati Mamata Banerjee, my other party leaders and Trinamool Congress, and the people of West Bengal belonging to SC/ST communities. Our leader Mamata Banerjee is trying hard to protect the people belonging to downtrodden classes. In West Bengal, our leader cares for them, and that is not my claim. This is the record. The report says the SC/STs are very much taken care of and very much safe in the state of West Bengal as compared to the other states of India. Today, we are very happy to see the amendment, long awaited and a welcome decision by the government. Government has bring this amendment following the huge pressure in this country, agitation and lot of unrests among the Dalit communities. And due to their huge pressure, government was bound to come in this parliament with an amendment. So it is not their intention. They are pressurized to do so. Then my point is, if they are very much willing to make this amendment, why they are not come with the ordinance earlier? Because the judgment of Supreme Court came on 20th March in a case against the state of Maharashtra versus Subhas Kasinath Mahajan, where Supreme Court gave the judgment. The essence is that preliminary inquiry must be prior to FIR if any member of scheduled caste community or scheduled tribe community was harassed by the common people. Then my another concern, if the government is very much favoring with this amendment, why those judges who has given the judgments against the Dalit community in the Supreme Court has been appointed by the government on the next day in the National Green Tribunal? Why? This is the against of the interest of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe community of this country. However, we feel relieved, and our party, under the guidance of Mamata Banerjee, who supports the bill and the amendment, since coming to power in West Bengal, SC, ST, OBC and minority community people feel safe in the state. She cares for them, and this is not our claim. This is the evidence of the public report by the NCRB. If we look toward the national statistics, you see, since 2014, Bihar is where the highest rate of crimes against scheduled caste and scheduled tribe population. For crimes against scheduled caste, specifically Madhya Pradesh, the BJP ruled state, is the highest at 43.4%. You see, for crimes against the ST population, specifically Rajasthan, again, BJP ruled state, is the highest at 12.9%. Yes. So it is the shame for the country. The NDA government and the BJP government, where they are in power, where the crimes against SC/ST peoples are the maximum. Then you see 7 members of a Dalit family were illegally beaten up by a group of Gau Rakshaks for skinning a dead cow in Una town in Gir Somnath district of Bihar, Gujarat. On 21st May 2018, 5 people accused for flogging Mukesh Bhania, a 30-year-old Dalit man who tied to a gate of a factory and beaten to death at Raskot in Gujarat. So lot of crimes against SC/STs happened in Gujarat, in Madhya Pradesh, in Bihar, in Uttar Pradesh, and so many other states where BJP rules. This amendment, where it proposes that preliminary inquiry shall not be required for registration of a first information report against any person, and second, the investigating officer shall not require approval for the arrest, if necessary, of any person. We support this. We support for the sake of the SC/ST community. I think nobody in the parliament opposed this section and this amendment, because it is a long pending demand. It is the demand of the depressed classes. It is the demand of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities, and all of we together support this amendment. If we look towards the statistics, then we see over 1.44 lakh cases of atrocities against scheduled caste and 23,408 cases atrocities against scheduled tribe came for trial before the judiciary in 2016, as per the last available data from the NCRB. Of these, only 10% cases completed for trial, and later just a fourth of this number ended in convictions. In case of scheduled tribes, 12% cases completed trial, and fifth of this ended in convictions. So the number of the courts exclusively for the SC/ST Act is very less as compared to the requirement. Out of 700 odd districts, only 194 have the recommended exclusive courts for SC/ST Act. Other districts needs also courts like this kind of exclusively for SC/STs to give proper justice to the community. Poor rate of convictions point of an unfinished agenda identified in the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. The law, commonly called SC/ST Act, requires all states to provide for an ample number of special courts that can hear cases of atrocities against SC/STs. Then rising tendency and falling convictions, that is the concern of this country right now. Thus, almost 90% of the cases filed under SC/ST Act languish at the end of every year, and when they do manage to complete trial, On an average, 5 years later, a majority of them end in acquittals. If we go to the increase of crimes against SC/STs between 2010 and 2016, we see crimes increased by 10% against scheduled caste and 6% increase against scheduled tribes. If we see the rise of the pending cases against scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, at the end of this year, during 2016, it was 91% and it was 78% against STs. Conviction rate for crimes against SC/STs, that is during 2016, it is only 16%, and 2010 it was 38%. My question is, it was far better in 2010 where the conviction was 38%. But when this present government took over, the percentage come down to 16%. That means conviction is reduced to a very large extent, and pendency of the cases are being increasing. 98.6% of all the crimes against scheduled castes that came for trial in 2016 did not end in convictions. In the cases of crimes against scheduled caste, 99.2% cases did not see convictions even. So this is the failure of the present government. 14 states have special courts mandated by Section 14 of the Act. The other have designated already state district and the sessions courts for this purpose. 10% of the cases of crimes against scheduled castes and scheduled tribes under police investigation are labeled as false. So these are the problems we are having in this country. If we see the crimes, atrocities against persons of scheduled castes, you see the high prevalence states: Uttar Pradesh, 25.6%, Rajasthan, 12.6%. If we see the metropolitan cities, high prevalence of the crimes or atrocities against scheduled caste, the cities: Jaipur in Rajasthan, Lucknow, Kanpur, etc. These all are the states ruled by present BJP government.
15 minutes completed almost.
Then general trends for crimes against STs. Since 2014, crimes against STs have seen as overall decrease of 3.8% only, with a significant drop of 8% in 2015. So it is our concern also. High convictions, but huge backlog. The judiciary is the body in charge of enforcing the rights of SC/STs under the Act by conducting a fair trial and convicting the prosecutor in case of guilt. Conviction rates for cases involving SC/ST atrocities are slightly below the All India rate, 21%, and for STs 20.8%, and are significantly higher in cases involving scheduled caste, 25%. Conviction rates are particularly low in states of Karnataka, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. In case of Rajasthan, lot of lot of incidents and crimes against SC/STs have been happened. And at the police investigation stage, a total number of 1,060 cases were disposed by the police due to mistake of fact of the victim. Out of these cases, 691 of these took place in the state of Rajasthan. This is a serious concern where most of the SC/ST people are being beaten up by the mob. And in the name of mob lynching, in the name of hate crimes, mostly the downtrodden people, the SC/ST and minorities are the victims. They are beaten up. So these things happen mostly in the states where the BJP government rules. Many of the people, honorable members, they are talking about Ambedkar and his contribution. I only want to make few points. Ambedkar is now a point of business. BJP is doing business with this name. Congress is doing business with this name. We, the common people, we, the people from the downtrodden classes, we should not see Ambedkar will be a point of business. He is, Baba Saheb Ambedkar is the father figure, and if we want to respect him, we have to pay respect to the downtrodden community of this country. That is not there in this country, especially in the BJP ruled areas. My suggestion, I want to give some suggestions. Number one, establishment of the courts exclusively for SC/ST communities. In the whole country, the number of courts is very less as compared to the present requirement. Therefore, establishing the maximum number of courts exclusively for the cases against SC/STs should be established. Vacancies in the courts to be filled up immediately with priority, so that this increasing tendency of pendency of the court, the cases would be minimum. Then justice, that is the ultimate objective for the downtrodden people. They should not wait for a long time. They have to wait for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and after that, no judgment comes. Therefore, justice, speedy justice is required for the people. Empowerment of the SC/ST community people, that is the another issue. By giving them the proper education, proper legal facilities, you can improve their social status. And lastly, I want to highlight those points, the increment of the tribal sub-plan, scheduled caste sub-plan, the increment of the funds under these plans. It is required, and the diversion of the funds is not required.
Oh, all right.
Population
Srimati
wise
Rita Tarai.
and Deputy Speaker, sir, with these words, I from my party rise for supporting this amendment. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir. I speak in my mother tongue, Odia.